So our special guest tonight is Lyle Phillips. Lyle is one of the coolest people you'll ever meet, and he has an incredible heart for the Lord and for people. He's a father, he's a pastor. From saving kids to human trafficking to changing diapers at home, this guy is a world changer. Please welcome Lyle Phillips. Ooh, that was a good clap. That was a good Pentecostal clap.
Yes, it was.
Well, Lyle, thank you so much for letting us film at Legacy and
Absolutely.
doing the after church thing.
My pleasure.
It's been a while since I've been here, and the building looks great. And
Thank you.
Just want to say it's really great to have you on the show. So thanks for doing this.
Thank you. It's my honor. I think so much of you and your husband, Sam, so it's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, you're the best. And you are a dad of your third baby now. You have three kids now.
Yep.
How's that going?
Overwhelming. Yeah. 3 kids is a lot for sure, but I mean, we're super stoked. The newest one, her name is Rua Grace. And so she's like, well, she'll fit in a shoebox.
She's so
very
cute.
small. I think she just hit 5 pounds yesterday.
Oh my gosh. But she's home.
She's home. Yeah.
That's the most important thing. She's
it is.
home.
Healthy,
with mama.
happy.
So
Mama's
good.
healthy, happy.
Come on.
So it's very good.
Man, you guys are just amazing.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's start with some rapid questions. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. What's your favorite food?
Anything Japanese.
Favorite color?
Green.
Favorite city?
Nashville.
Favorite clothing line?
Probably Gucci.
Love it. You're so fancy. I love it. Favorite accessory to wear?
This bracelet. Over in East Tennessee, his storyline goes that he hammers these things out under the Smoky Mountains in a river somewhere. I don't know. It's like a cool story. But I met him, and he made like a bunch of special bracelets for me.
The Lyle bracelet.
You never know who you're going to connect with.
Yeah,
you know?
come on.
So,
Favorite rap artist?
of all time or like right now?
Both.
Okay, so right now, people are going to hate on me for this, but I love Drake.
What's wrong with Drake? I love Drake.
Because people think he's too soft, you know? But I like Drake. I think anything Drake puts out, some people are going to be mad, particularly religious people, that I said that. But, hey, I think Drake is great. And then of all time, oh, man, probably Tupac.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, I could have said B.I.G., you know, same era, but I was more of like a West Side guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about you tell everyone, you know, what does life look like for Lyle right now?
Sure. Well, life is obviously very unique for all of us with COVID and everything happening in our city and everything happening in the world and all the chaos and everything that's going on. So I think life is kind of unique right now. In the midst of that, we bring a baby home from the NICU. So we have a third kid. All of that is brand new. So I feel like I'm just in a season where nothing at all looks the same or as I expected it to. But also at the same time, it's a really rich and fulfilling season and a good season. I feel like I'm diving deeper with my wife and my kids and my family and my community. Despite the separation with COVID. So for right now, it feels slow, but fast at the same time. I don't know if I'm actually answering this question well, but like it's this beautiful dichotomy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like super stretching, but also very comforting because I'm home more.
Right.
You know?
Right. But
It's
you're
just a season
still
of extreme.
engaging with your community.
Big time.
And your community, I mean, your church community is Legacy.
Yes.
And then you live where? Where do you live?
We actually live in the Creve Hall area.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So it's kind of South Nashville. That's where Allison grew up, actually.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We actually live in the house she grew up in.
What?
Yeah.
I've been to that house.
Yeah. Well,
wow.
you got to come see it now because we renovated it.
Wait, so where are her parents?
They live with us.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that's the house
great.
that my mother-in-law grew up in as well.
Oh, my goodness.
So my kids are, let's see, what is that, 4th generation?
Yeah.
In that house.
Legacy. Literally
Dude,
Legacy.
got it,
I mean,
man.
come
Let's
on.
go. You're in the
awesome.
house of Legacy.
That's right. So what does Legacy look like right now?
A lot of online church, a lot of Instagram live prayer, a lot of Zooms. I mean, it's like I got Zoom fatigue, man. It's like every day I'm on Zoom calls. Our family has really, really stepped up in this season, and our family's grown. as well. I mean, we started a YouTube channel. We had YouTube. Like, you know how some people have a platform on social media, they never use it?
Right.
That was us before COVID. We started with 220 subs when COVID started. We have 10,000 now.
10,000. Man, you're so YouTube. You're even like abbreviating, like 22,000 sub.
Yep. Smash that like button. Comment, subscribe.
Subscribe now. Do it right now. Put a little button.
Whoosh. Ring that bell. Literally, my son watches YouTube so much, like little gamer type things, right? Because kids are into it, right?
Oh, yeah, and like reaction videos.
Dude,
it's the thing.
It. What is up with that?
I don't know. I mean, YouTube is huge, especially for the next generation and overseas. Like, I did not realize how much YouTube was watched, but it's basically TV there.
Really?
Yeah. And you guys do such a good job of, like, I've seen the YouTube channel and I've seen all your media, and you guys just do such a good job of connecting with your community at the same time of, like, you know, making it media. Like, media is hard to bring connection through, but you guys do that so well. So
that's a big compliment, because I feel like we did not know how to do that at all prior to this season, and oftentimes I'm unsure if we're making that connection happen. So that's really great feedback. Super encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are doing great.
I will say this: the whole 10,000 subs thing. The reason for that is our prayer room, which we did a video with Dante Bowe. You know, shout out to DB, and he's famous. You know, so everybody just watched it. They were like, "Oh, what is Dante doing this video?" And it was super anointed. I thought it was trash, though, like on my part. Like, I was like, my prayers were terrible. They were super shallow. Like, I wasn't in the sauce that day. It's not good. And then we put it out, and a bunch of people watched it, and then it helped us to grow. And now we've been doing these prayer rooms, and that's where the people have subscribed.
So that's what it's called, prayer rooms?
Prayer room.
It's like a series, or?
It's literally every Thursday we air a new prayer room at 6:30 p.m. It's 1 hour of us hosting the presence. It was supposed to be internal, though. So Dante's a friend. We've been getting to know each other for a while. And I asked him, I said, hey, you're in town. He was doing a write. And I said, would you come over and film? We didn't have a name for it at the time, but I was like, will you come over and film a 1 hour worship set with me, like a prayer set, and like you'll worship and I'll pray, and we'll just flow and just do whatever, right? And he was like, yeah, of course, it'd be great. So it was only supposed to be for our church. And I sent him the Vimeo link because we had it hidden. And he was like, this is so good. This has to go on YouTube. And I'm like, you think so? He's like, bro, this is amazing. Put this on YouTube. Put it on YouTube, and within like a week, it had like 100,000 views. I was like, what?
Whoa.
How?
Man, God is so cool. How, like, you kind of just, like, think you're dreaming up something, or not even dreaming it up. You're just like, hey, what if we just film this? I don't know what it's going to be. Let's just figure it out.
Yep.
And you want to, like, keep it to yourself, too, because you're not sure. But then God's just
trash.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Thought it was trash. You weren't in the sauce that day.
No, I'm like, this is not anointed.
And then God was like, no, you were. Let's put it out there.
It's how it works sometimes, you know. It's like, oh, this is not good. And God's like, actually didn't need your strength. Thanks.
See, that's so encouraging for people. I think so many people have, like, they have this fear that keeps them from actually releasing things or doing anything.
Big time.
But I mean, I hope that encourages people that are watching right now to just kind of release it and see what God does with it.
I think all artists suffer from that paralysis, because I feel that I'm an artist. Like, I have, as Erwin McManus said, like an artisan soul. Like, when people ask me, what do you do? I would more so say I'm a preacher than I am a pastor. Yes, I'm a pastor. That's part of what I'm called to do. I shepherd people. I care for them. I love them. Of course, that's part of being a Christian. But for me, like, my journey into ministry was really preaching, articulating, performance art, stage presence, tell a story. You know, like, you're engaging with people, you're bringing them into the scriptures. And so for me as an artist, you know, I critique everything I say, even one word in my notes that are 12 pages long. You know, I'll critique every sentence, and people are not even seeing that. Right. But for me, it's so important.
It's an art.
It's an art.
Yeah.
It's an art. And Steve Jobs said something one time, like, he said, ship it. Like, real artists ship. Like, ship it out. Like, if you're really an artist, you have to let the world see your art. You're
no
not
matter what.
Exactly.
Like, oh, yeah.
Because you're not an artist until people consume your creation.
Wow.
As long as it's, you know, you can call yourself an artist and create in a closet, but you're actually not, until you share your art with the world, so you make the world more beautiful by what you create, you're not actually an artist, because you're not changing anything. You're not helping anybody.
Tell me a little bit more about you. Like, where are
Sure.
you from originally?
I'm from a village called Sacramento, Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a town of 600 people with no stoplights.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what was your childhood like? Did you grow up in the church or?
Yeah. So I'm a PK. My parents got saved when I was like 3. So when they got saved, and I want to be careful with what I say because maybe they were already saved. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But they definitely weren't like walking with the Lord. Like they grew up around church and stuff. They get like really saved, like filled, and like really empowered. And so they move into ministry. I'm probably like 4 or 5 at the time. My dad was always bivocational, like he was in business as well and did pretty well for himself. And then when I was a teenager, they took their own church plant. And like I was like a full-on PK at that point, So that's a little bit about my upbringing. I grew up in the church.
So was it easy for you to like, stay a Christian? I mean, you would have grown up as a PK. Like, what was that like growing up as a PK? Because I think there's so many different like types of PKs. What was it like for you?
Absolutely. Well, for me personally, I just hated going to church all the time. And because we grew up Holiness Pentecostal, there was this standard that was you're in church every single time the doors are open. I mean, it's like Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. If we're doing something on Saturday morning, you're there. Prayer breakfast, ladies auxiliary, like you're there, and I was there. So I hated that. Like I hated that. And then I loved rap music. And I loved like rated R shoot 'em up movies like True Lies and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And like I loved that stuff,
Yeah.
And then I loved sports. I really, really loved basketball. So I wanted nothing to do with church because it felt very constricting and controlling. And it felt very antithetical to the culture that I wanted to be a part of and experience with my life. And I felt like it was unfair because I was trying to make the choice to live life to the fullest, by my definition. And then here were these big, bad, mean pastors trying to shield me from it in the name of God. So I was like, I am out of here. I think I checked out mentally when I was like 11 or 12.
Yeah. Because you wanted to be a basketball player.
Yeah, I wanted to play in the NBA. Like, that was the dream, man. Like, as I got older, I was like, okay, I'm pretty small. Maybe I can play professionally overseas or something, I was like, I'm probably not going to make the height requirement. But, so that's why I was like, no, I don't want to be a part of church. I want to be a professional basketball player.
So then what happened for you?
So I did actually play basketball at a pretty high level. Ended up playing for this Nike team, traveled all over the United States. Yeah, it was awesome. Like Rajon Rondo was also on that team, who is in the NBA now.
What?
Yeah, so he was I was a point guard. He was point guard sometimes, shooting guard. There's some other players that went on to play D1 and stuff. So for me, I was super stoked because I'm like, I'm a part of this team. I'm going to go play, D1 ball and then maybe one day play professional. Transferred schools my senior year to play for like this big school so I could get recruited to a larger D1 school. And dude, I just fell like completely off the wagon. I couldn't keep it together, constantly in trouble, got arrested at school, started to experiment with drugs, alcohol, prescription medication. And my coach kicked me off the team. Oh, wow. I literally got arrested at school for a fight that I had that had started in the parking lot of the high school, and pretty much lost everything. Scholarships were gone.
Wow.
All the opportunities were gone. Coaches didn't want to mess with me. So I kind of gave it up and moved out of my house.
So this was your senior year of high school?
Yeah.
You moved out of your home, like with your mom and dad?
Yeah.
And then what'd you do from there?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I lived in a drug house. I was using drugs. I started selling drugs. I was kind of doing that in my own high school. Then with the arrest, and they kicked me out of school, so I had to go to a different school. So I was kind of like, between my grandparents' houses and living in this drug house and all these different places, just trying to figure out what I was going to do with myself. But that was a very dark season of my life.
Wow. And that would have been like a weird dynamic with you and your parents, right? Because being a PK.
Yeah, we were completely estranged. So when I moved out I had just turned 18. When I moved out, we didn't really see each other except for maybe once or twice a year until I was, for probably almost 4 years, I guess.
Wow. And he was still pastoring the church?
Yeah.
And you just weren't around.
Nope.
So then what happened between you and the Lord? Like, what was your relationship with the Lord like through all this?
Yeah. So, like, I remember there were moments when God would speak to me. Like, and it wasn't like, oh, you're high, so you think you heard God. No, I mean, I knew what God felt like because I grew up in church, and I grew up in a spirit-filled church where God moved and people got healed, and like I saw miracles, you know, so it was undeniable that God was real. So I knew what God's presence felt like. I knew when God was in the room, and so I could definitely tell you there were moments when I was in my car doing drugs, listening to Young Jeezy, and like God would come and be like, put that out, turn that down.
Oh my gosh.
I have a purpose for your life, you know, and I love you, I'm for you, you know, just start speaking life over me. And I would say, God, leave me alone. I don't want to hear from you. I'll get saved when I'm like 40. I'll go back to church. I'll pay my tithe. I'll go to heaven when I die. But for right now, like, just let me be me, you know?
You had a whole plan.
Yeah, I had a plan. That was
bro,
my salvation
just chill
plan.
out. Like, I know when I'm going to come back. Don't
40?
try to rush me.
Exactly. I don't know why I thought 40 was like super old.
You wanted to live your life. You wanted to have fun for a bit.
Yeah, 20. Give me 20 years of fun, and then I'll go to church.
I mean, that's an understanding, though, because you knew that God would take you back. So you're like, I'll come back later.
I knew he'd forgive me. I knew he'd heal me. I mean, I was like, even if I get sick or something, God will heal me.
Yep.
Like it was, which is kind of dumb and taking advantage of grace, I'm sure. But like, I was thinking, like, it doesn't matter. Even if I got AIDS or something, like God would heal me. God would totally heal me. Yeah. So that was kind of like what life was like prior to really encountering God.
So how old were you when you really encountered
21.
God? 21.
Oh yeah, I was 21. So I'm growing weed in my closet. I got coke in the cabinet. Like I'm selling crack out of my house. And basically what happens is I'm rolling up some weed for the next morning because I just did that at night. You know, I was like just preparing. I mean, I was just high all day.
You're a planner, man.
Dude.
Planner. You're like, I need this for the next day.
I need this before I brush my teeth in the morning. You know, looking back, I'm like, God, man, I was crazy. Yeah. Rolling up some weed, fall asleep on my like sofa, futon. That's what every college kid has, right? A futon. Fall asleep on that, and then and like I wake up, like I'm like shaking out of my sleep, and I see somebody walk past my window, and I'm like, the SWAT team is here. I've seen them just kick down my friend's door down the street. Like I know they're gonna come and arrest me. I'm growing weed in the house. I got drugs in the house. I'm doing all this stuff, and so I go to the window, look out, no one's there. Go to the door, look out, no one's there. And the same presence that I felt in church growing up and all these revival meetings my parents used to force me to go to was the same feeling I had in that drug-infested apartment in that moment. And the Lord Jesus walked into that apartment, spoke to me very clearly and said, in 6 months, you're going to be dead or in prison unless you come home to me right now.
Oh, my God.
So that's my salvation story. That's how I got saved.